Thank you. So, so my name is Jessi Keenan. For those of you who have not met me, but actually, this is a class where I have met all of you before or taught all of you before. So I only opened it up to my private Facebook group for this because I knew that all you guys had been familiar with my style of teaching and, you know, that I care about each and every one of your voices. As I'm saying that, I'm becoming and being aware of my own voice and how I speak. Because for years and years, I didn't realize that that's what was hurting me the most. And that's one of the things that we're going to learn tonight is, am I speaking correctly? It's something we do every day, right? We're human beings that were given vocal cords. Uh, we're going to learn a lot tonight about this thing called the vagus nerve. Just raise your hand like this. Has anyone heard of the vagus nerve? Okay, yeah. I didn't know. I didn't know until what had happened was this past year, after 4 years of coaching, I couldn't sing anymore. And I was wondering what was going on. So I started seeing a specialist twice a week here in Los Angeles. Her name is Coral. She's a doctor of, she's a speech pathologist. And so the things that she was doing with me were just some of the basics that I sort of skipped over as a child singer. They're so important for voiceover and so often skipped over in the industry. It's pretty amazing. Voice is half of voiceover. That's even in the title. So the importance of this class, I just can't reiterate enough. And with that, y'all know me. I'm just going to go through, I'm going to mark you off, and I just want you to say one by one, starting with, got my class list here, with Lisa. If you could just tell me your name, your website, if you have one, and where your location is. Lisa?
There we go. First thing you have to do is find the mute button after
Yeah.
you, or the unmute button after you mute yourself. Good evening, everyone. I am Lisa Everett. I'm coming to you from Northern California, Vallejo. The next big city is, I guess, Oakland, San Francisco. Found such a voice probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. Miss Jessi was my production coach and still is in here. Haven't done a lot with it. So as the little ones would say, I'm going to do a do-over. I'm going to do a
Awesome.
do-over with it
And
and see if
you
we can
guys
make it
can
work.
you guys can email me anytime. Even though I don't work for, email me anytime. I'll always be your coach. So, uh
Yeah.
yeah. So next is Paul. Thank you, Lisa. See, Paul.
And sometimes Paul has a challenge with the unmute. So here we go. I'm Paul Bali. I am up here in Seattle, Washington. And Jessi, you and I worked together, I want to say it was 2020. So yes, I went through the Such a Voice classes during COVID, which was an interesting time. And I never really got into it. I tried to make some auditions on voices.com and got discouraged probably a little early in the process. So I kind of walked away and I'm realizing, you know what, I really want to get back into it. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Paul. And we all have that in the beginning. They say it's the hardest industry to break into, and that's above the recording industry. I didn't know that when I got into it. I'm going to tell you, I got lucky because I'm a hustler. I picked an agent and I would not let her go until I went down to Orange County, got a fake tan. I don't know why. That spray tan. And like I fully I'm going to be your client. And she's like, yes, you are. Okay. Next we have Mark Wheeler.
Yo, hey, y'all. Yes, excuse me. Hopefully you didn't get too much of my backside while I was adjusting my microphone. Can you hear me now?
I We can hear you. Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah, of course. I worked with Jessie in at Such a Voice for some time, and since then, I've actually gone on to become a full-time voice actor. Luckily, I was experiencing an unemployment with unemployment benefits right during the transition, so I had some time to ramp up. And since then, I've been working for Potomac Talking Books. They actually produce for the National Library of Congress. So I get pretty steady work from that. Done some hosting gigs, working on several audiobooks, and actually got into acting, and got an agent and all of that good stuff. So my
Isn't that
website,
funny? Yeah, your
excuse
website.
me.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
the website?
so my website is Dynamic Voices by Mark.
Awesome.
I'm trying to break into animation and video games, so I'm working on some character voices. And my next big gig is hopefully going to be like in a AAA title. That's kind of the goal. But yeah, I need to get a character demo, and that's what I'm working on next.
And there's different ways to do that. That'll be a separate class, but there are different ways to do that. So I got booked for Final Fantasy from my character demo. I didn't even have to audition. My agent just sent in my character demo to them, and then so yeah.
Yeah,
it
because
is.
once they hear a voice they like, it's like, okay, boom, there you go.
Yeah, and they're like, well, she's with Vanessa, then she must have been doing stuff before or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
Red Dead 2, they're like, oh, she did that. Let's hire her for this.
Oh, so your character demo came off of already existing projects you had worked on?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay, Robert Castana, I put him in the class. He had I don't think he's here, but that's all right. Robert's been super supportive of the Orange Cooler Project, my side gig for this since COVID. And yeah, he's a very, very, very sweet guy. Chris Walters. There he is.
Hello. Yeah, she said it. I'm Chris Walters. I'm in Seminole, Florida, so it's a little later now. I worked with Jessi. Gosh, it feels like a while ago now. Hey, it was we had a super fun time, and she showed me a whole bunch of stuff during the Such a Voice time, and so then I went off on my own and did a bunch of auditions. I got one or two callbacks, but then those couple projects fell through. Something on their side happens, and then life events stuff, and then I kind of fell off the wagon. So this is me jumping back onto the wagon and trying to get back into it.
Awesome. And there's new resources too that have come out since I've taught. So, and in fact, I make sure I make note of that with Nava. Okay, thanks, Chris. How about Florida? Meg Spreadlin. Is Megan here? Let's see her yet. She may not. What about Drake? Drake.
It seems the unmute button is all of our enemies.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cool.
I was coached by Jessi Keenan last year, actually. It's only been a full year. I started paving my way, mostly just started with basically wrapping my head around all of the information that was thrown my way. I was like, okay, before I even try to do anything, I need to truly just sit down and ponder. I got a couple of auditions, and then I got a little busier with, unfortunately, something that wasn't voice acting, and I was like, no, voice acting is what I want to do. And now I've just been doing some YouTube animations, trying to get back into audiobook work and stuff, and yeah, so now we're here.
Awesome. I'm so glad to have you, and life is up and down. We've all been through it emotionally, physically, financially. It's a crazy time, you know. So you are not alone. Joshua Weston. Share. Oh, he's in the waiting room. Yay. Woohoo. We'll let Josh in. Here he comes. While Josh is coming in, let's go with Deidre. There she is. Deidre, if you want to hit unmute. Let's see if I can unmute you. I can ask to unmute. Oh, there we go. Deidre, you there? Maybe her microphone's not working, so I'm going to move on to Deidre. Whenever your mic's working, I hear something. Just let us know.
Can you hear me?
Yes. There. I can hear you, Deidre. What's going on, man?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Give me your of course, name, your website if you have one, and your location for everybody else.
My
Testing.
Josh, it works. Go ahead, Deidre. Deidre? I think her mic might be popping in and out. You there, Deidre?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, give us your name, website.
I can hear you. You
There
can
you
hear me?
Yep.
My name is Deidre Joyner. I am in Arkansas currently. Recent big news event is there is a brand new permanent Renaissance festival starting in Arkansas, and I have been made a cast member of. We had auditions this past November, so I am a cast member of the first permanent Renaissance fair with like 80 acres of land.
What? That's like a dream job. That's congratulations. Seriously, everybody give it up.
Thank you. We open for our main season next September. They've already like broke land and started building and everything, so that's some good news for me.
That is amazing. What a creative opportunity, and every acting job, voiceover is going to help, because I feel voiceover is
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
much the core. So I think we have Joshua.
Oh yeah.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hey Joshua, can you hear me? Joshua, can you hear us? I'm going to mute Joshua for a second. Oh, yep, there we go. So, okay, thank you so much. Congratulations. I want to hear more about it offline, because that's awesome. Next we have, let's see, Joanna.
Good evening, y'all. I am Joanna Mosnet. I worked with Jessi latter part of 2021 into 2022. My website is Vocal Mosaics, and I am in Eastern Washington, across the state from Paul, in Spokane. And I am part-time in it. I love my day job too, so I'm part-time in it. I have done a webcomic series, kids video game, and a couple audio dramas. I'm in a audio drama series it's an adaptation from a book series, and the author is the one doing the adaptation, which is really cool. So taking it from the book to and really enjoy the cast reads when we do those, because the cast is just really strong and funny, actually. The content isn't funny, but the cast is. So it's been a lot of fun.
Congratulations, and I'm so proud. I'm just so proud,
Thank you, Jessi.
Leanne?
Yes, I'm Leanne Heilman, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and my website is aptlyspoken.com. And I just echo many things on here, but Paul, I resonated with what you said, and so I don't need to say it because you already said it. Hi, Jessi.
Hi. I can catch up with you guys individually because I'm going to keep moving on. Steven.
Hi, everyone. I'm Steven Sundquist. I am from Iowa, but I'm now going to be staying in Utah because I'm just about ready to graduate from school in Provo. BYU.
Right on, man. Congratulations.
In my time, I have not been able to audition for anything at all, but hopefully I'll be able to next semester because my classes will be easy.
Well, you're prioritizing. You're smart. So, Chris Reedburn. Chris Reedburn. There's two Chris's. I don't see
Hi,
Chris.
I'm just Chris. Hi.
Oh, there we go. Chris.
Hey. My website is chrisreedburn.com. I'm from South Dakota, right above Iowa. So, yeah. Jessi, I had my first on-camera gig this morning.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious.
Is that awesome?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a blast. So
Isn't that funny? We spend years of training and years of and all this money, and then like we go in there and we book one commercial and it's like super easy and quick. You're like, wait, I want more.
I know, right? Yeah, it's just a trainer video for a company here in town, but it's a blast. So yeah,
That's awesome. Local stuff is now worldwide because we can just like share it, say, hey, look what I did. You know, we couldn't do that back in the 80s and 90s. So
yeah, no doubt.
No,
So
never know. And then Michael, is Michael in here? Michael Centrone?
Of course I'm here. Like I would abandon you.
Hi. Oh.
So I don't know if I was in your first cohort or your second back in 2020, but it was something along those orders. I also, Joanna, I live in Spokane as well. I don't have a website. I started with Such a Voice and wound up. 2020 came along and I dug in and held on to my job just to make sure that I could keep paying the bills, and I have done nothing with this. So this is a reiteration and see if we can make it work better second time around.
And like I said, I'm here to inspire you, to be here for you. So you just let me know what you need. And Joshua, let's see. Yes, there he is. Joshua, I don't think your mic is picking up your voice right now.
Joshua left.
Oh,
According to the chat.
Yeah, he's in here though. You see him? I don't know if you can see him. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and the only one is Meg. Meg that's not in here. So we're all here. Joshua, keep working on your sound as soon as you can. To hear your introduction. But it's almost 7:30, so I'm going to go ahead and start the class. It's called Finding Your Natural Voice Through Flow Phonation. And it's something that I have to remind myself of multiple times a day because I got into such bad habits at a very young age. Okay, Michelle, cool. I see your message. And I was a child singer, I was a Star Search kid, and they wanted me to belt because I could. But they never taught me how to breathe. I also was singing really before I was talking. I was also a stutterer. So I had to go in once to a special class and do that. So we're all born with different things that may hinder or advance our voice, but we're going to learn some of those tonight. So breathing exercises, getting your airflow going. is the very first thing that I want to talk to you about. Y'all brought your toilet paper? Hopefully it's clean. Sorry, I made it funny. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna hold up the toilet paper about, remember how we did this? Kind of like the microphone? We're gonna go about half of that. So where your fist is, I'd say about 3 inches from your face, directly right in front, like the microphone is in your face. And you're just gonna give me a nice, with a ooh, with an O sound, as if you're saying, ooh. Yes, but no sound. We're not using our vocal cords, you're just gonna blow. Nice and easy. Hold it upright like this. You see, there we go, everybody. So I'm gonna go sideways. See that? Feel your stomach tighten as that's happening. Because we always want a nice tense stomach muscles using our diaphragm, which we talked about in your prior classes. Now, what that's doing is it's just getting your airflow going. A lot of times when we're talking, we forget to use our air, believe it or not. So you're going to start to be aware of that now. Now we're going to do it again, but this time, now I'm going to get close to the mic so you can hear what I'm doing. I'm using my tongue to do that. Can everybody try that? Here we go. And all right. And if it's not going, lift it up just a little higher, Joanna. There we go. And Mark, lift it up just a little higher so I can see it. There we go. I can see that. All right. Now it's just, it seems simple, but if this reminds you before a session, oh, I'm going to let Josh in. Hold on 1 second. And Deidre. Here we go. So if this reminds you before a session or before an audition that, oh shit, I'm not using my air, then let it be known. Toilet paper. Simple.
Testing, testing.
There's Josh. Josh, I can hear you.
Oh my God. So I finally got this.
Yay! We're gonna we'll do your intro at the end because we're doing the toilet paper.
Yeah.
So if you have a piece of toilet paper, you're just gonna hold it up like this, below. I'm gonna go to the side so you can see it, and then the second one is you're gonna do a. We're not using our voice. In fact, when you're doing this, notice if your throat muscles are relaxed, because if they're not, you can even do a little self massage to notice the tension. So using our air to get that flow phonation going, okay? Very basic. That's number one. And like I said, you're gonna get an outline of all these exercises that we're doing. So, belly breathing. All right, I'm gonna go sideways, ready? You see that? When I breathe in, my stomach goes out. When I breathe out, my stomach goes in. It's a good way to practice this. And when you're first starting out, it's going to be hard as heck. When I first started doing this exercise, I remember when I was like 13, 14 years old, and I took my first voice class at Drake University with Leon Steen, and it was a classical singing class. So I could save my voice from the child singing, child starving. And I couldn't even put my stomach out when I breathed in. I just wasn't used to that muscle contraction yet. But all singers do this. So, yep, and one is unmuted. Oh, 2 Joshuas and 1 is unmuted. Okay, cool, we're good. So
yeah, I think we're getting a lot of it sounds like you're underwater almost.
oh, right now?
Yes.
Okay. Does it sound like I'm underwater to everybody else?
Yes.
It's that
Okay, let me go ahead and mute everybody. And I'll do one more thing. Okay, is that better? No.
Yeah, you were good up until right when you first, like, as soon as you started your spiel.
Huh.
After we verified Joshua was on, it was
Okay.
sounding great. But yeah, now it's blah, 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 blah.
Right now, is it still blah, blah, blah? Can you understand me? Okay. I am going to keep going because I'm not sure why that did change, but I will try to figure it out. Okay. All right. So, before you're going to bed at night, I just want you to lay there and put your hand on your stomach. And you're going to practice 10 times. Breathe in, stomach goes out, breathe out, stomach goes in. And I promise you, you will get better and better and better to the point of, oh, I can make a beer belly and show off for my friends, and I couldn't before. So,
I can already make a beer belly. I don't need
oh,
the help.
sweet. Perfect. So that's the belly breathing exercise that I learned when I was a kid. Exercise number 3 for breathing, okay? And some of you may have done this before, but this is the straw exercise. I have a simple red Solo cup of water. I'm going to put a towel over it so I don't splash. And I'm going to have a straw in there. Now, the purpose of this is you don't want to blow hard because obviously the water is going to go over it all over. You just want nice, easy bubbles, right? So I'm going to do that right now. I got a little lightheaded. I'm evenly using my breath, being aware of my stomach, and making sure that I'm not having any tension in my neck. It's how I start every speech class I have with my teacher, just so we're getting in the right flow. Make sense? And like I said, if you guys have questions, write them down and I'll answer them at the end because I've got a lot to go over. All right. So that's the straw exercise. You can YouTube it, all this stuff. And all right, so we're going to talk about next the way that we speak. Why do we pitch down and up? You're going to start to be aware of this. I've been doing it my whole life. I talk like this. What's up, you guys? Depending on who I'm talking to, especially if I'm with my stoner friends. Hey, what's going on, man? If I'm in a loud bar, I may pitch down and project because I'm trying to speak over someone. If I'm trying to sound like I'm more authority, and we all do this, we all change our voice, but be aware because all of that is causing tension. It's causing tension. So we're going to want to find our natural speaking voice. How do we do that? All right. When you're speaking and you're using air, naturally, you should find that easy place where you don't have the tension and it becomes easy. Now I can speak in different pitches all I want, but now I'm using air. So naturally it's going to happen more. And I want you to practice after class these exercises, these breathing exercises, and then grab anything and read it out loud. Do I have any tension when I'm speaking? What feels more natural? Should I try pitching up a little bit? Am I afraid to pitch up because I'm because I have an insecurity of my higher voice? Well, where you feel the least tension is going to be your natural placement. And normally, I would do it with each one of you, but I think you guys need to practice this a little first, right? Kind of experiment on your own, so that there's not the insecurity of a class watching you. I think it's a big deal. So I'm going to show you guys a perfect example. And my doctor out here, she used this for me, and I just want to share this with you. I'm going to share my screen really quick, and hopefully you should all see that. And I'm going to go to yeah, that. All right. Meryl Streep, the goddess. Now, in the movie The Devil Wears Prada, if you've ever seen that movie, it's one of my favorites. The way that she speaks, we're going to play the bells for this. Are you able to hear that? It's a tough call. They're so different. Here she goes. Oops, just kidding. Okay, let me just. Where are the bells for this stuff? There's no one where. It's a tough call. Think about the dialogue that she's saying and how she's using her voice. It's just both those belts look exactly the same. Still learning about this stuff. Here she goes. Oh, okay. I see. You think this has nothing to do with you. You go to your closet and you select out of that lumpy blue sweater, for instance, because you're trying to tell the world that you take yourself too seriously to care about what you put on your back. But you don't know is that sweater is not just blue. It's turquoise. It's not lapis. It's actually cerulean. Notice all her pitch, but it's still in her comfort zone. In 2002, Hospital rented the collection of cerulean gowns. Then I think it was Yves Saint Laurent one. Showed cerulean military jackets. I think we had a jacket there. And then cerulean quickly showed up in collections of different designers. And it filtered down through the department stores and then trickled on down into some transit. Can I give you one more male example? However, that blue represents the many. So what's this? This takes the choice between guys. You gotta take this on. It's like a fetish. It's not like it really needs to go sometimes. Don't go like you said. Sorry, one second. There we go. It was still playing the other one. Give me one second. But if you'll notice, did you guys notice how she was speaking? Naturally, but those are examples, and then I'll give you the Robin Williams one later. All right, let's open this back up to everybody.
Can you share those with us after the class, the links to the video?
Yep. For sure. Let me
Thank you.
get back into my meeting here. There we go. Okay. All right. So those are two examples of actors who are using flow phonation as they're doing their monologues. Obviously, monologues are much longer, so maybe it's a choice in character, maybe it's a choice to save their voice. I was in a session with Tony and Tom Bancroft. They're animators, well-known Disney animators and directors. And they asked me, they needed a studio in LA, and I had a friend who had a studio, Tim, great studio, and he's a great engineer. So I got to sit in with Ming-Na Wen while she narrated one of their short stories. And I'm like, that doesn't even sound like Ming-Na Wen, but she was using flow phonation because she had to narrate the entire thing. And I really learned a lot just by watching her because I wouldn't have known. All right, projection, big part of it. There's an exercise that we're going to do, and everyone can just do this at the same time, but muted, if you don't mind, so that we don't have a crazy mess of sound. And what we're going to do is we're going to count, and we're going to start soft, but still a quality sound. You're not whispering. So I'll give you an example. You're just going to count from 1 to 5, going from softer to louder. And then you're going to count backwards from 5 to 1, going from louder to softer. That's it. So I'll give you an example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my vibrato almost coming to the natural vibrato, not the fake stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, yeah, I'll try it. So we're going to go from soft to loud, then loud to soft. It's interesting that, like, oh crap, I started too loud. How many had that experience? Or, oh man, oh, I was too soft. So that everybody experiences that. It's bigger. And yeah, so let's go to 1 second. I'll try to get this screen as big as I can. Oh, there's my controls. Yay! There we go. Make sure nobody's in the waiting room. Okay. Oh, we got 15 participants. Everybody's here. Yay. All right. So that's the projection exercise. And that's on the sheet. Remember, 1 to 5, soft to loud, 5 to 1, loud to soft. That just kind of gives you your own radar. All right, speaking correctly in common daily strains. Just going to go over a few that I've experienced in my crazy life. Lack of sleep. For me, that's number 1. Waking up tired. Even if you had sleep, maybe you're just mentally exhausted, maybe, you know, neck strain, pain or tension. We talked about that. Some of us have it now, you can see it. You know, like those aged people sometimes that have just really, you know, you can tell it's been very strained a lot. Night out at the bars, concerts. That's a big one, especially for me when there's Hollywood here and there's lots of stuff that goes on. Tooth pain. Tooth pain is something people don't realize because that's causing tension in your mouth. And the muscles that control your face movement are actually right down here. I'm sorry, the nerves that control your face movement are actually right down here. So, giving yourself a massage right at the base of your jaw can help relax your face, right? All the crazy expressions that we sometimes do. Bad breath, self-consciousness. I swear to God, some people have it. They don't want to talk because, you know, maybe they have a tooth that's bad or, you know, but self-consciousness of any kind. Alcohol, pot, other narcotics, anything is going to affect your voice, especially alcohol. It dries out your voice. Back when I was singing, I could drink and sing great. I mean, honestly, I could. I couldn't drink and play piano, but I could drink and I could sing. But I would be paying for it the next day. Be like, why am I strained? Oh, duh, because I was wailing once up by 4 at 4 in the morning, you know? I'm 11 years sober, so I don't have that problem anymore. Smoke of any kind, if it's in your house, not only is it affecting you, but it's affecting your pets. And they might have that cough. Some vets will tell you it's the flu. It's not the flu. There's some kind of irritant in your home. I've dealt with this before. Natural sickness or any other sickness, you know, anything from cancer to mental anxiety, and everything in between. Car, you know those burnouts when people do wheelies? For some reason, they have those like what do you call them? Corner. There's a word for it, but it's when they all get together and they like, you know, they
Take
speed
over.
takeover, street takeover. Thank you. Street takeover. That stuff, it's called fuzz check that they drop from the sky when there's a fire, right? Everything can affect what's around you. In Los Angeles, have to deal with it all the time. Get an air filter. Dry conditions. Get a humidifier. I have one. I need to turn it on now because it's summer. I need it on all the time. Any prescriptions that you might be taking, it might affect you differently than it affects somebody else. Clearing your throat. This is the most common thing that hurts your voice. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you what your vocal cords do when you clear your throat. What happens when you bang things together too much? A bruise starts to form. A bruise. That bruise turns into a little bit of a callus. All of a sudden, there's vocal bleeding. I had vocal bleeding this year. He showed me. He showed me my vocal cords. He said, "Do you see that it's white at the top, but it's red at the bottom?" He said that it's healing from the bottom up. It was really strange to be like, "What? I've had vocal bleeding for a while." Yes, it's because some of the veins have popped in my vocal cords, so I had vocal bleeding. The white cords are the healthy. I think, yeah. I'll have to look at it again, but also my vocal cords are doing what my fingers do. They were open at the top. So that's why I wasn't able to sing. There was air passing through when I tried to sing. So we had to do vocal exercises, which would be a little more advanced class to get that closed up. And it worked. So, and I'm working on it every day by speaking correctly. Let me just check the participants, make sure everybody's in here. And okay, if you're tongue-tied, I'm slightly tongue-tied, didn't really realize it, but some people have their tongues clipped. Let me let in Michelle. Michelle's joining us. Hi, Michelle. We're right in the middle of class, so there'll be a recording of it, but I wanted to say hi. All right, so tongue-tied, everybody give me a yawn. You feel when you yawn, the back of your throat, your soft palate lifts up. We talked about this a little bit when I added that into the curriculum because I thought it was important. That soft palate lifted is actually what we want most of the time, unless we're doing some kind of character voice. But that lifted soft palate is going to give us more space for resonance, and the sound is going to come out much easier, and it's going to be a healthier way of vocalizing. Let's see. Flattening the back of the tongue as you yawn. Yawn again. Now focus on flattening the back of your tongue. It gives even more. Like you feel like you're stretching out your nodes. and there may be some crap on there, but instead of doing that, do a trill. You'll hear me in the grocery store going like that. It's just it's what I do. Hi, Michelle. Go ahead and mute yourself just for this, and then we'll have questions at the end so that everybody. Yay. Yeah. So instead of and I don't like to do it, you're gonna do a trill. Or just a little a belly. HM. No more hemming. I will come find you. All right. Creating space, sticking out the tongue. Singing is ugly. It's it's a vocal thing. It's not supposed to be pretty unless they want you to be on stage or on camera, which adds a whole nother layer. And the last one I have here is public speaking insecurity. That's me. I skipped out on my public speaking class because my teacher in high school, his name was Mr. Huber, and he wanted to debate rather than teach us. So the very first day of class, he got into a debate with me, and I said, "There's no such thing as a fact, everything's opinion." And he said, "Leave the class until you prove me wrong," which is like totally proving, like, I can't do that because then I'd be arguing against myself. So I just went out in the comments the whole time. The guy gave me an A for sticking to my guns, but I didn't get the value of public speaking class. So that's Mr. Huber, rest in peace. So that's the section on speaking correctly in common vocal strains. All right, gonna move on to the vagus nerve. What is the vagus nerve? Everybody has one, and let's see if this is gonna open for me. I'm gonna send you a link to a YouTube. It's like it would be like an hour science class to explain the physics, the physical part of it to you. But it goes from the base of your neck all the way down your spine, and the vagus nerve is super important in your emotions, in how you're feeling. If your vagus nerve has been damaged, it's psychological, it's physical, and it's not something that medical teams can see. So quite often, what they're going to give you all kinds of medicine for, you can actually cure with meditation. Or you can cure with listening to, on YouTube now, they have all kinds of relaxation videos, and it's free, Also, humming. Humming will also help. Just easy humming with no tension. So the vagus nerve, look it up, Google it, do all your research, and you're going to be amazed. Neck massaging, while you're humming, feel where the tension is again, breathing exercise, and exercise. Just in general, getting the blood flow going, but I'm going to go into more of that in just a second. All right, vocal cord health and products that I recommend and use. Throat coat tea, I've mentioned that before, but that's what we all used on tour. I was Aaron Carter's backup singer. I don't know if a lot of you don't know that, but Aaron passed away recently from addiction. But while I was on tour with him, I'd be screaming. I'd have to sing like a 15-year-old boy, right, to kind of sing his backups. So I'll just straighten my voice on stage. And plus, there's thousands of screaming little girls that when you're on stage, that all hits you at once. So that adrenaline, it's you gotta be really aware of your voice. A couple other products that I use. Vocal Zone, I have them right here. Vocal Zone, they're lozenges and they're so strong, you're gonna be like, oh my God, what is this? I don't use them right before performances because I'm afraid. They're just really strong. But Christina Aguilera, that's who I learned this from. Big singers, with big voices tend to use these. because they're super strong. I think it's slippery elm. Okay, well, the slippery elm I'll get to. That's this one. It's called Voice 37. And it's the slippery elm. And this is just, you take, I'll do it right now. I put it on my tongue and I let it slide down the back of my throat. Another one, vocal ease. This one, there's a there's a mailbox place in Burbank, and his like side gig is he's got this little window, and all the singers go there to him. He's just like the guru of vocal care. It's so weird, but he gave me this and this. Yeah, another one is Ivatine for dry mouth. Another one I use, and this is, it's got CBD in it or THC. I think this one is the THC one, but this is actually for my jaw. This literally took away my TMJ, and it's any brand. Get a little roller from the dollar store, put a couple drops of any kind of muscle, something that feels good. You know, they've got different things, but I just massage my jaw with this. And for some reason, my jaw doesn't click as much anymore. It works. I should bottle it and sell it because it's freaking amazing. And it doesn't hurt as much. Let's see. Oh, bay leaves. I boil bay leaves before for the water for my tea, and I just use, and then I put throat coat in it. So I have throat coat bay leaf mix, and your water will turn slightly like yellow. That means that the bay leaves. Google it, you'll see what do bay leaves do for your voice and for your respiratory system. And of course, drink water. Drink water. Every voice actor is going to have their different things that work. Let me let teacher in. And yeah, drink water. I like Mountain Dew. It's horrible. I have to drink it. I have to water it down now, just because I've been taking care of my voice more this year. My dad drinks Mountain Dew. He doesn't drink alcohol. I was born with a Mountain Dew IV, and I can't get rid of it. Some people say cinnamon, red hots. Debbie Derryberry, who's my mentor, one of my mentors, she is the voice of Jimmy Neutron, and she does everything. F is for family. She does all the kids' voices. She's an amazing person. You can't learn enough from her, and she's hardcore. She's like, no, do it like this. She's like, okay, Debbie, whatever you say. But she likes barbecue chips. I don't know. But and, you know, people have their different tricks. Just don't do menthol, because that's like putting Bengay on a muscle and then running a race. You could stretch it. And when vocal cords break, an audio engineer has told me there is an actual sound when a vocal cord pops. I don't want that to happen, obviously, especially when you're doing video games. It can happen. I have a video game session coming up for Shadowverse in 2 weeks, and I have to match, of course, my sound from a year ago. So I'll go in, I'll listen to their recording, and, you know, my voice hasn't changed that much, so it should be easier this time. My best vocal warm-up, believe it or not, and I've been doing this since I discovered it, I guess, probably in my 20s at Disney. I played The Little Mermaid for the live show back from 97 to 99. And I did 6 shows a day, 5 days a week. And then at night, I would go and do a show called The Pirate's Dinner Adventure, which they have one in Orange County too. And I would play the princess in that, which was a 3-hour stunt show and singing show. So I had to be vocally ready at any time. And what I would do quickly before my pirate show, if I was tired, I would just go run around the building, get my heart rate up, and stop when my heart rate got up, because you don't want to wear yourself out. So now before auditions, I do the same thing. I go run, I get my heart rate up, then I stop. And that's it. For some reason, it just gets the blood flowing to your vocal cords without putting strain on this voice. I'm not vocalizing, right? If I need to vocalize, then I'll vocalize. I'll do my trills, I'll do a couple scales, that kind of thing. So one good quality, you hear I'm shaking a little bit, my voice. It's because I'm completely tense in my stomach and my natural vibrato is not quite there yet. A lot of my life I've been faking it and getting away with it, getting big jobs that way. So some people, they've got vibrato control and they make it work. Some people have that natural vibrato, like Dolly Parton. Somebody start to listen to singers and see who has a natural vibrato and see who's kind of putting it on. So can I just have everybody sit up straight in their chair? Hands to your side, just totally relaxed. Straighten out your back though. Some people like to put a pillow behind their back. I've got one of these mesh thingies. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a mesh thingy. And I've got that there because it gives me better posture, makes me breathe better. So we're gonna just relax, shake out your head. And you're gonna breathe in through your nose. Now you're gonna do it without projecting. A nice quality sound, but imagine there's someone right next to you listening, that the ear is right here. Just a nice, easy ah. Okay? So on your own, take a deep breath in. Chris, what does that feel like? If you can unmute yourself really quick. Yeah. Chris Walters, sorry.
Well, there's two of us. I got very confused. It felt very different for me because I've never really attempted to do singing ever.
Yeah.
It felt like my neck was kind of like doing this little vibrate.
And you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up because we're not singing. You're just saying the ah. Ah. It may sound like singing, but I need to focus on that too. Is don't sing it, say it.
It felt like it started off like one way, and like the longer you do it, it like kind of changes halfway through.
What I want you to do is I want you to time yourself after class and see how long you can hold that off for. And remember your throat tension. Remember your stomach tightness. Roll your head around if you need. Remember, don't project. Just a nice, easy ah, like you're at the dentist. Don't sing it, say it.
Got it.
Say it. Cool?
Cool.
All right. Next thing, and this is going to be the last thing that I talk about, and then we'll go into questions. And that's the state of the industry. Right now, let me just make sure everybody's here. Yeah. The state of the industry, AI, right? AI is here. And Mark, can you go ahead and unmute yourself?
Sure.
What have you learned about AI and how it's affecting the VO industry, or have you heard anything?
Well, I do know that there is a significant concern from voice actors in general, which was part of why they had the SAG-AFTRA strike, and that AI might take the place of actual people by duplicating either their performance or their voice. And so it was in the SAG-AFTRA contract that it can't be utilized in such a manner without permission. And in voiceover, there still is some, I guess it's some kind of gray area, because you can't necessarily copyright a voice, but as long as you don't make sure that you have it in your contract, like that's why the writer, the contract writer from NAVA, or the National Association of Voice Actors, is important if you are actually signing up with a company, because they could technically take your voice and use it without your permission. But on the flip side, I've actually made money loaning out my voice for AI projects that pay something upfront and then give you a residual based upon how much your avatar is being used. So there are two sides kind of to the industry as well. You can lose from it or you can make some money from it, but you have to be smart.
And read that contract and read the audition specs.
Yeah. Read the audition. Yes, definitely. Make sure that it's not in there. If it isn't in there that they can't use your voice, yes, get the contract writer.
The word is in perpetuity. That's the right word to look out for? I have an agent, and I focus on my agent, and I focus on different animators that I've been working with. I don't do the pay-to-plays right now. I never had much luck with them, and I kind of knew backstory of like Voices 1, 2, 3 got bought out by Backstage, and there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes these last couple years. So I've sort of been waiting it out to see what happens. But there is an organization that was formed by crazy, but my core group of like 10 people became hundreds of people, led by Tim Friedlander. And they started something called NAVA, National Association of Voice Actors. Tim and Karina? Sorry, I'm just blanking on her name right now because I haven't met her yet. But Tim, they actually went to Washington, D.C., and they had meetings, and so they're working for the voice actors, and they've got this. Anyway, Nava, look it up. It's something that's brand new and definitely worth checking out because he knows everything about contracts. He's an engineer. We helped him build this studio. That's where I sent Tom Bancroft, so they're doing really big things over at Nava. Keep an eye on that. Read your contracts. And yeah. So that's the most updated stuff that I have. With the Screen Actors Guild, it's been a long history of sort of, we don't ever see the contracts really. So like Mark said, read your auditions. And if you don't feel comfortable doing something, say no. You're more valuable than that. And if you want to do something for free because it would be worth the copy, so you can use it on your reel, great, but make sure it's not in perpetuity. I don't know if I'm saying there. So read your contracts. Okay, I'm going to open it up for questions for the last 20 minutes, half hour, however long you guys want. And let's check. I'm going to look in here. There we go, novavoices.org. I love that. Michael put it in the thing. I'm going to put it in the template right here because, yeah. It gets smoked. Okay. So if you guys just want to raise your hand. Make sure let's do it. So go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, Joshua. What's your question, Joshua? Can't hear you again. Sorry. Bye, Drake. Joshua, do you want to type your question? in the chat. Oh, Jessi, should I still be seeing your screen? Yes, I will stop sharing. There we go. That's why I couldn't see. Thanks.
So I had a question, real quick, like, so one of the things I found out is in my working as a full-time quote unquote voice actor is that during the day I get an audition that's coming in, and it may not be a time in which I'm necessarily planning to use my voice, but I've noticed on the big audition sites, faster you get it in, because as soon as that thing pops, 10, 15 minutes later, it might be 20 auditions, 30 auditions an hour later. By the end of the day, it's about 100, So excuse me, 100, submissions to the audition. That's what I mean. So yes. So what's something that I can do really quickly, maybe within a minute or so, just to get warmed up? If you only had like 1 or 2 warm-ups that you could do, or before you had to really jump on the mic, what would they be?
Jumping jacks.
Jumping jacks? Okay.
Fast. Like I said,
Getting
just
your heart rate up. Okay.
getting your heart rate up, doing the trill, and also getting your breathing going.
Okay.
So toilet paper.
Right. So boom, 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 and then so the whole so I use the in the mouth to talk, to get my vocals up, whatever. This is the pen, the cork, I guess the wine cork in the mouth.
The cork, yep.
Of course, lip trills.
Yep.
And then tongue twisters.
Yep.
And so those were my 3, but really it's more about getting your heart rate up as well.
Because it's getting the blood flow going.
Yeah.
Without wearing yourself out. So yeah, like jumping jacks, whatever it takes to get your heart rate up.
Okay.
That's always worked for me. And because been singing since I was a kid, I didn't have no voice whatsoever, but then once those stage lights come on, there's an adrenaline rush that goes straight to my vocal cords, and all of a sudden my voice comes back. I can't explain it, but it's been happening my whole life. So, except when I was using alcohol and other stuff, that went away. So naturally, my adrenaline goes to my vocal cords now again. So it happened in Iowa. I hadn't sang in like a year, and all of a sudden they made me sing karaoke in my hometown bar, and I nailed it. And I was like, you guys have no idea. Like, I haven't done that in a long time. And it's because I got my vocal cords back together through doing exercises like we were doing. Let me grab this sheet really quick, because there's one more. There it is. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're just breathing in different spots. Don't know why it works, but it just works to get the airflow going again. So, yeah. There's a bunch of them. Did that answer your question?
Unmute. Yes, it did. Thank you.
Make for using the cork to strengthen your mouth. Oh, the cork exercise. You know what? I've got a marker that's the same size. So I use a marker. Once upon a time, there was a girl who had a lot of markers. What it is it's resistance. Kind of like in the gym. If you put on 30 pounds, it's going to be a little harder. This is just making it harder for you. You're working the muscles in your mouth so that when you actually go to speak, it's like, oh, I can lift that 30 pounds easy. I already practiced. Does that make sense? Joshua? Sweet. All right. Yep, the Nava AI writer that they, and I'm actually going to be joining Nava this month. So finally, I'm out of my vocal depression.
Yeah, they offer insurance now too, don't they?
Lots of stuff. And that's Tim Friedlander, you guys. That's the one that's our little core group of that started 7 years ago. And I'm just so proud of them and everything that they're doing. I can say proud of us. Let's see. Where in Burbank? I think it's on Magnolia. But I can get, if you email me, I can find that for you because I haven't been there in about a year, but yeah. It says, Joanna said, I've seen impact from paying attention to my vagus nerve. Yes, humming. It was pretty cool once I figured out that it worked best for you. Let's see. And any more questions? Yay, that, oh, Paul. Oh, Bell.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to defer to Joanna first because I know she's had her hand raised the longest, and then I'll follow. How's that?
Sweet. I'm going to see the gallery. There we go.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. No, someone mentioned demos earlier, and I have my 2 demos, commercial and narration, because I thought I was going to be doing more audiobook work and narration work, but I've fallen into character work and I really enjoy it. And I'm trying desperately to figure out, without putting together $2,000, how to do that, how to get a reel out that could help me showcase my
For audiobook?
No, for character work. Because I've got a set of character samples, but I don't so I mean, are there any alternatives to the demos like Sav did? Because I see all these folks with like video cards and stuff. I don't know where they're getting those. I don't know who does that. Like, any help would be appreciated.
Was more for the basics of VO. When it comes to character work, there's so much different kinds of work out there, like my Easter Bunny, like characters in video games, right? Conan, God, where am I? The late shows, sometimes they have voiceover jobs that come through the agencies. Character demos can be done for lots and lots of money, and that would be J. Michael Collins, right? I could think a couple $1,000s. What I would do is I would go in and I would Google character voiceover demos, see what pops up, see which producers pop up, right? And go in, find out the talent, go to their agency and listen to their character demos on the agency website. Okay? Because the agency website has been filtered. Obviously, it's gone through some people that say, okay, that's all right for the kind of work that we're booking. So my suggestion is go in there, find out who did their demos. Because I could give you a million different answers because I've heard a million different things. I was at the video game. Oh, no, it was E3. There's something in Los Angeles called E3, which if you do, by the way, a video game in 2023, which I'll have a contract here at the end of the year, then you can use that for E3 2024 and get in free. And do you guys know how much a ticket is to E3? Like $1,000. But I sat afterwards because my friend John Bailey, he had said, "Hey, do you want to come to dinner with me and some voiceover people?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was sitting at the table with like the creator of Fortnite, and then like the head of data, and this is just at this nice dinner, and and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And so I asked a couple of them, just like on the side when we were out, kind of smoking, whatever, and I vaped and I don't smoke, and he gave me an answer of, just put some stuff together that you've done, pick some characters that are in your wheelhouse, put it together, have someone master it. So, because you don't know how to use Audacity, put it together, but then have someone master it. Make sure someone listens to it that's in the industry. You know, and even from that, you're gonna get different opinions. So hustle, know, and know if you're not making the grade audio wise, because if they can't hear your voice clearly, if it's too overproduced, they're gonna say that's overproduced. I can't hear your voice, right? So you're gonna get different opinions on that. I do have a couple character demo producer people that I can recommend in LA. I think Ryan Stevenson did mine, and that's how I got Final Fantasy. So, and I think I paid him a couple $100. I put my thing together. I paid him to master it, and it sounds great. Now, companies are not going to want, even at conferences, they're going to say, no, that's wrong. But look at who's saying that. Is it people who are charging a lot of money for demos? Or is it the actual video game company that's doing the hiring? A straight up shooter that you're going to talk to is Andrea from Blizzard. And Andrea Toyes? I'm probably mispronouncing her name. But if you take her workshop, she's straight up about things. I love people like that, you know. And she does have high expectations of demos and that kind of thing. So, which doesn't mean you have to pay thousands of dollars for it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but could you put that last name in the chat or in a email? Would you follow up with everyone? Because I couldn't, we were kind of garbled there. I couldn't quite hear what that name was.
Yep, Andrea.
Thank you.
What? Yeah. She's at Blizzard, or actually she was as of last year. Yeah, it's not letting me pull up my oh, yes it is. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna make sure I have the right spelling. She's probably one of my favorite workshop people too. Yeah, I spelled it right. Andrea Toyes. And what her big thing is, you guys, it's all about imagination. That's what this whole game is. Once you get your voice into a natural place where you belong and you feel comfortable and you're having fun, then you can let your imagination go and apply that to the given text. So, and that's for everything. Because when people are listening, and by the way, a lot of people have their TVs on when they're not watching. So voiceover is king to me. That's why I don't even do on camera anymore. I don't have any interest. I love the freedom of expression that I can have with my voice, that this 5'2" pixie looking chick with not hair that's that good enough for TV, to be honest with you. Like that, I don't have that insecurity. I think as a child singer, I was able to imitate well. I saw the movie Annie. I came home, sang the song, and my grandmother, who was a singer in the church, said, "Oh, she can sing." So they threw me up on a card table at the nursing homes around town, where my great grandmother was, to entertain them. So that was my start. I imitated when I was 6 or 7. So, learning by imitation. In fact, that's one of the things that one of the video game guys at E3 taught me. Oh, another good thing to go to and meet people is the video game awards. They put so much money into those. It's like the LA Philharmonic is playing the theme to Red Dead Redemption 2 while the lights and the smells and the sound are going off, the lasers. And then you've got, I don't know if you guys have ever met true video game fans, but there's like thousands of them sitting with you. So when they make the announcement that the Joker is going to be the new character in Mario Kart, and you see these guys crying and hugging each other, and like, I mean, it is So I was crying with laughter because of the just like, no way, this is real. And then of course Jack Black is always, there for you. I've worked with him now a few times, and he's awesome. And you meet really cool people that inspire you to keep going. That's what got me to quit drinking 11 years ago. I was in Iowa, just really quick. I was in Iowa because I think this is important. Sometimes inspiration can make all the difference in your life. But I was in Iowa, hadn't quit drinking yet. It was a bad situation, way underweight, using everything possible. And my friend was, I thought, singing backup for Bruno Mars. And it was a new band at the time. So I drove myself my horrible Chrysler Sebring convertible that froze on the inside as well as the outside. Like, so there was no defrosting this thing, it was just scraping the whole way. So I'm down there, and my friend Philip says, and he's like, Jess, I'm not a backup singer. He's like, I co-wrote everything with Bruno. It's like, it's amazing because it's a team. And I'm like, what? And I watched him, and their show was so amazing that I went home and I quit drinking the next week. And I never went back. And so coincidentally now, him and I go to the same tiny church that I was invited to through the homeless thing. So it's very special to see that star and keep following it. Right? Just keep that inspiration. And if you need inspiration, fill your calendar with free stuff. You never know where you're going to find it.
Hey, I found a free auditioning for character voices for video games. It's like an hour-long workshop through Eventbrite.
Okay, let me write that down.
So Eventbrite will tell you when there are free voiceover activities.
Can you email that to me, Mark?
Well, it was just local. It was a guy who works through Gearbox locally. So,
Oh, awesome.
yeah, I'm in Dallas, so
But
yeah.
Eventbrite.
So yeah, keep that in mind, y'all.
There's another resource, you guys. Thank you, Mark. And okay. All right. Any other questions? Oh, you have a hand, Paul.
Thank you. And kudos to you on 11 years of sobriety. I'm only at 2.5, so you have many years of ahead of me, but I ain't going back. So good for you. So I've had so many questions as we've sat here talking. And I guess the question that I'm most thinking of right now, and I'm hearing a little bit of an echo, hopefully not everyone else is. So I'm trying to jump back into this after not doing any auditions or anything else for at least a year. Do you or anyone else here who may be doing some work now have some recommendations of some places that, would be not a sure thing, but maybe a place where we're more likely to get a gig? Is it ACX? Is it going somewhere else? Does anybody have any suggestions?
For me, going directly to the studios that are currently producing the video games. Contact Blizzard. Contact Mark Grau Studios. Samantha's the casting director. She used to be the front desk girl. She sends me auditions now directly instead of through my agent. I don't know why, but I have one tonight. But that's a lot of video game work. Joshua, are you all right? I saw you jumping up and down.
Thanks for that thought. I'm just talking about straight up voiceover. I'm not even going to get to the fancy stuff yet. So I was just curious, just this, simple voiceover type stuff where it might make sense for me to go since I ain't done it for a while.
Well, I'm not on the. I've heard from my producer friends, a couple of them, Voices 1, 2, 3. People had a lot of success on that. some people have also had no success. So voices.com has the most auditions on it that I've experienced. That's going to be probably the largest amount. But getting, now, I guess I should say this. For which category? Commercial, narration, audiobook?
I'll do anything. I'm just trying to get myself back in, get my feet wet so
What do you
that
enjoy the
I
most?
can get back in the game.
Do you like reading long form or short?
Typically short, but I could do long as well.
Audiobook is going to be easier to get into. I'm going to tell you that right now because people don't want to do it. It takes a lot of time. If you have a nice, easy, consistent, natural, healthy voice, they're going to use your voice. Just don't make sure you read that contract because there's a lot of, hey, I love your voice. I want you to do my audiobook. I'll pay you 10 cents, for the whole thing. There's a lot of that out there. So do not fall for those scams. And you guys, they're everywhere now. So all of a sudden, voiceover started booming, and everybody thinks that they can do it, and they all want to be producers because that's where the money is. And they're going to contact you so that they're the middleman and they're making the money that you should be. So read your contracts, don't fall for the scams. If you're going to get into audiobook, Diane Audio is the woman. Deyan Audio. She had asked me to do audiobook when I worked at Outback Steakhouse way before I got into voiceover. And I got her card and I'm like, oh, it sounds like fun. And I just kind of threw her card aside and never really contacted her because I've probably read 2 full books in my life. I've always been a sprinter, which is why I keep booking video game. It's a lot of lines, but it's ABC, ABC, da da da. And also, I like characters. I like where they're going and where the director takes me. I like that communication with the director, the back and forth. But Diane Audio, you can go to the website, and what she wants you to do is she wants you to submit, I think it's a 90-second simple recording of your voice. Nothing fancy, don't overproduce it. I think it's raw. She doesn't want anything done to it compressed or anything. So I would, for you, pick instead of being like, oh my God, there's so many paths to take. Well, you just end up sitting there staring at the paths, right? Go down one, see if you like it. Take my suggestion of submitting to Diane Audio. She might send you something to read. Something might come of that. That's what workshops are good for as well. Gardner Street has a weekly workout. Maybe it's monthly now. But, I think that usually it's some kind of casting director or agent that's going to review your audition and then give you some feedback. And that's always helpful because they're honest and, it's like super cheap.
That's almost exactly what I just typed in the chat right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. About getting a workout group. I know one, I forget what it is. I have to look it up. I can share it with you. But it's like $10 for one audition. That they usually send 2 auditions, commercial copy typically, and it's like 15 or something maybe for both. And then yeah, you get reviews from a casting director. Very, very short reviews usually, but at least if you've been practicing some, it kind of helps kind of fine tune maybe what you need to make your audition sound better. So yeah, I know of a couple. Which one did you mention?
Gardner Street workout. Hold on, oh, shit. I'm gonna find it right now. And that's Tim Friedlander. That was before Nava. Like he's just been on it. Oh, here it is. All right, this is Tim's group. Today marks 9 years of Gardner Street workout groups. Thanks all for helping us keep this community strong. He's one of the founders of Baba. So I'm gonna put that link in there, right? It's hard to find when you search on Facebook, but if you know how to type it in, but there it is. There's, and I'm gonna put that in our worksheet too. So just give me 1 second. And tell them that you took the Finding Your Natural Voice class with me, so that there's a connection. And they'll be like, oh, cool. Let's see here. Here it is. I'll just put these resources at the very bottom of this page. I will be sending to you all. Let me put a hyperlink with it. Cool. Also, the novel link, I'm going to go ahead and put whoever shared that. Thank you so much, because it helps me find. There it is. Voices.org. I'll put that in the sheet as well. Any other links you guys want me to put in there before we go? Link to it like that. Sweet. All right, any more questions? Yeah, Stephen.
Students, I have the worst organization or policing in my life right now.
Start that over. Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
So I'm just really bad at prioritizing time. So I was wondering how you would recommend, what does a typical day in the life of a voice actor look like? Like how much of their day is dedicated to auditioning? How much of their day is dedicated to actually doing their jobs? How much of their day is looking for jobs?
Well, psychologically, I was procrastinating for a couple years. So if I would have applied myself more and shown up for auditions that were out there, my day would be half voiceover, half whatever I want to do. But instead, I was afraid. There was some psychological depression going on for some reason, of low self-confidence. And I just recently got that back. And I think it had to do with my voice being gone. I didn't want to commit to something that my voice wouldn't show up for. So if I apply myself, I could spend half the day doing voiceover. A lot of it's going to be digging, trying to find those opportunities. Mark, do you agree with that?
What was the question again about finding opportunities?
How much of your day are you dedicating to voiceover?
Oh, yeah. So I kind of follow what Such a Voice had recommended as far as breaking it down into blocks, like a couple of blocks of auditioning, maybe in the morning or when they come in. Sometimes it helps to be flexible. And then a couple of blocks of actual recording for the things I'm getting paid for. A few blocks of education. And so just kind of weaving those in throughout my day.
That's what I do, is I literally open up my email as soon as it comes in from Vanessa, my agent. I print out the email, and then I have a stack that I go through. Sometimes one isn't due for 2 weeks, so I'll put that on the bottom. Sometimes one is due in 3 hours. So obviously I get that done as soon as possible. The sooner the better. But I would say a couple hours a day for sure. For sure. You know, responding to the opportunities, but also creating more. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And then pretty soon you'll be full-time like Mark, you know.
Testing.
And any other questions tonight? You guys, this was amazing. I want to thank everybody. It was my first time doing my own Zoom class.
Testing, testing.
Is that Josh?
Oh my God, it's finally working.
Josh, tell us about yourself, please.
So I was your student in 2021. And then I was on Voices for 2 years, didn't land any gigs. And then when I started with my county's behavioral health, I connected with a clinician that is also a rapper, and he wanted me to do a voiceover for an intro to one of his rap songs. I did that for free, but I also have credits on that. We went to one of his producer studios and did that, but still, that's my extent of the work that I've done.
Isn't it cool though? Like while you're doing that, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like recording and I'm rapping. And for me, I'm white. And you know, I'm like 5'2". I'm like, they hired me for this. Like this is my junior high dream. What else do I need to do? That Easter Bunny literally was one of the most fun experiences of my life. And I got paid $750 for it. That's it. But it came out at Walmart, which my mom found. It sold out twice on Amazon. So that the money's already gone, you know. Those kinds of things will inspire you and lead you to more things, which it did.
Well, and for my perspective, the getting my name on the credits is more valuable than any paid position I could get.
Don't discount TikTok, you guys. It's weird, but I don't know if they consider me an influencer, but I have 10,000 followers on TikTok. Has nothing to do with voiceover. I jumped into a cenote in a jungle outside of Cancun, and it was like my biggest fear. So if you go to TikTok and you find me, I pinned it. 6 million views. All of a sudden, it started blowing up, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, so, but now those 10,000 followers are all seeing every time, you know, when I start advertising what I've done, I've been bad about that. I need to brag about myself more so that I get more work. But you utilize TikTok, utilize social media, be proud of what you do. Be careful on social media, especially in times like this. They're not hiring people who have, of course, criminal charges anymore, because guess what? You book a big gig and they find out that you stormed the Capitol, or you know, have a long domestic rap, or you burglarized a bank. You know, that could come back to haunt you in the entertainment industry, because somebody like Disney or whatever, they're like, oh no, now we can't show that movie anymore. That's millions of dollars out. So be careful. But Josh, I'm so glad I can finally hear you. And email me if you want. You know, I'm gonna send out this template of everything we talked about tonight. And like I said, let me know if you guys have any questions. I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of my inaugural,
Much love.
my first.
Thank you for doing this.
Yes, and I'd like to start a workout group in 2024. I'll be taking auditions that have already come out from my agent that are okay, and we'll use those as, so it'll actually be current stuff that I'm able to share. So keep an eye out for that workout group. And I'm going to keep it small, max 10 people, and that way we can all get a chance to read for each other and review. So, yay. Thanks again, you guys. I'm going to hit
Thank
stop
you,
on
Jessi.
recording now.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you, Jessie.
Yeah.
Thank you,
luck tonight,
Jessie.
y'all.
Bye. Good night.
We love you.
I love you.
10,002. Yep. Or